Hey fellow pilots, welcome back to the channel. Today we're stepping into the cockpit of nostalgia with B-17, the mighty 8th REDUX. This one hitting the rewind button for me, taking me back to the days when this sim was one of the first sparks that ignited my love for virtual flight. So buckle up, hit that like button and let's dive in. Alright pilots, we're stepping into the B-17 Flying Fortress, and boy, does it feel like a blast from the past. Now this Redux is like a virtual time machine bringing the classic Microprose gem into the modern era. If you are a veteran like me, or just curious about the roots of flight sims, you're in for a treat. Let's take a trip down memory lane to 1992, when it all began with the release of B-17 Flying Fortress World War II bombers in action. I was just a kid at the time, and I remember it vividly, especially the excitement of getting my hands on a fantastic flight stick to enhance my experience with the simulation. Those were the days when the virtual skies were calling, and I was ready to answer. Fast forward to the turn of the millennium in 2000, and a sequel graced our screens. B-17 the Mighty 8. The legacy continued, and I found myself once again immersed in the world of B-17 Flying Fortress. It was a sequel that added new layers to the experience, expanding on the foundations laid in the original. And now, here we are with B-17 the Mighty 8th REDUX. As you boot up the game, you're greeted with a menu that's straight out of the golden age of flight sims. It's not flashy, no fancy animations, just a clean, no-nonsense layout that takes you back to the roots of gaming. First foray, I decided to embark on an immersive journey through history by selecting an historical mission. On the 18th of June 1944, the 381st Bombardment Group Heavy broke from its pattern of hitting invasion priority targets and went to bomb part of Germany's oil industry in Hamburg. The enemy fighters didn't prove to be too much of a problem thanks to the escort provided, and even with heavy flak, the 381st managed to not lose a single bomber. Before we embark on our historic mission, let's step into the nerve center of our journey, the briefing room. As we enter, the atmosphere shifts and the gravity of our impending mission sets in. In this room, you'll witness a recon video showcasing our target. Then you have the route map, where you can see your flight plan, waypoints, targets, etc. And then we have the briefing file that contains all the details about the mission, the targets, and the threats. And here's the cool part: once you've soaked in all that crucial information, you get to sign off on the briefing file. It's like committing to the mission, putting your digital signature on the dotted line. It's a small touch, but it adds a layer of immersion, making you feel like a true commander gearing up for a historical sortie. Once we start the mission, we find ourselves positioned near the majestic B-17, and the crew is already in full swing, initiating the startup procedure. Now, here's the unique charm of B-17, the mighty 8th REDUX. It's a flight sim, no doubt, but it's not just about flying the plane solo. It is focused on crew management, and you can decide to take control of the aircraft or just sit down and enjoy the show at this point. I decided to enjoy the show this time.
You are cleared for takeoff.
Once airborne, it's not a solo flight. We wait for our squadron to join in formation. Patience becomes our wingman and anticipation heightens as we prepare for the collective strength of our fleet. Thankfully, the developers of B-17, the mighty 8th REDUX, understand that time is of the essence, and they've given us a handy feature. You have the ability to speed up the simulation, fast-forwarding through the moments where the skies are clear, and your squadron is gradually assembling. If there's no event on the horizon, you can leap forward to increments of 10 minutes, efficiently bypassing the waiting game and getting straight to the heart of the action. It's a thoughtful touch that balances realism with the desire for a streamlined experience. As we cross over the German coast, the atmosphere in the B-17 shifts, and the looming danger becomes palpable. Despite the reassurance of a reliable fighter escort, a formidable adversary awaits us: the deadly Flak. The sky is painted with bursts of anti-aircraft fire, and we know we're entering a zone where precision and coordination are paramount. As you can see, some begin to feel really scared, and a frightened expression icon is displayed on the crew member. But let's move on the bombardier position. While in search mode, we can maneuver the scope around to locate the target and lock on once it's in sight. Suddenly, the target emerges, partially visible through the clouds, teasing us with a glimpse of its presence. The anticipation intensifies as we prepare to make the critical bombing run, navigating through the ethereal veil of clouds to lock onto our objective. In the meantime, as the target comes into view, a mix of emotion fills the aircraft. Some of the crew members are visibly terrified, yet there are no reports of injuries. In the realm of wartime operations, this absence of wounded is a relief. Now we find ourselves in the imminent proximity of the drop point. The tension inside the B-17 rises as we approach the critical moment. The crew poised for the precise release of our payload over the target. And bombs away. We are heavily damaged, but now with bated breath we turn our attention back to the scope to assess whether the target has been hit. Peering through the crosshairs, we eagerly await confirmation, seeking visual cues that will indicate the success of our precise bombing run. And yeah, with a careful examination, it looks like we scored a good hit. Now we're off, and we can return to base, our mission accomplished. Wait, it's not over. The mission continues. Now our primary objective is to make it back to base alive. The Flak is relentless, hitting hard, creating a perilous journey home. To evade the onslaught, we make the strategic decision to climb, seeking altitude as a means of navigating through the storm of anti-aircraft fire and increasing our chance of a safe return. As if the challenges weren't already formidable, an additional threat looms on the horizon. A group of enemy fighters closing in. Now it's time to use the machine guns. With the enemy fighters on our tail, the roar of machine guns fills the air as our skilled gunners spring into action. Unfortunately, a twist of fate took a dark turn, and something struck our aircraft, sending us plummeting to the ground. Fortunately, everyone was able to eject, but in enemy territory. As we wrap up this virtual journey through the early stages of B-17, the mighty 8th REDUX, it's clear that the potential for an incredible flight simulation experience is unmistakable. The crew management dynamics, the heart-pounding moments in the bombardier position, and the intense aerial engagements have set the stage for an immersive adventure. However, with the anticipation of future updates, my final thought echoes a desire for expanded freedom within the B-17. The promise is there, and I'm eager to see how this simulation will evolve. Until then, keep your eyes on the virtual skies and stay tuned for the next chapter in this exciting flight simulation odyssey. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button and leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao!